April 7th, 2025. This is my review of reading Ruth. It's chapter 1 through 4. We don't quite finish Ruth in this reading, but we get the gist of Ruth. We know that Elimelech takes his wife, moves away. His sons end up marrying Moabites. He dies. His sons die. His wife goes back. Ruth stays with her. The other daughter-in-law goes back home. So the big part of this is the faithfulness of Ruth to her mother-in-law, the kindness that she shows there. That's pretty awesome. And she's a Moabite of all things. Moabites were enemies of the Israelites. But if they had, there was obviously some things going on there with Elimelech. But then we get to see Ruth going to support her mother-in-law by working in a field. And she goes to find a field to work in, and she finds the field of Boaz, which is a very wealthy man, but he's also very kind, and he shows his kindness very greatly by being generous. So that's pretty cool. That's a good example for us, to be generous, to be kind, to be righteous. I do know by looking back or from earlier readings this year that was something that the Israelites were required to do by the laws of what Moses told them, that they were supposed to leave stuff for the poor to come pick it up, not to give to the poor, but to allow them to come work the fields and pick things up. That was something that was required, so that Ruth would have been able to do that. That wouldn't have been out of the norm for somebody that came back to town to, instead of begging, to go work for and gather food for themselves. So that was a thing. And then Boaz was very generous about it. And then Naomi tells Ruth how to approach Boaz to let him know that she's interested in him in a very strange way, and that must be just the customs of the times. And not I would take it a certain way, but I'm not gonna. It seems as though Boaz acted very righteously, and Ruth as well, in the matter, and ends up marrying her. So that's pretty cool. But again, it's righteousness and kindness and working through the process. He said, Ruth, you're interested in me. I would love to marry you, but I can't because your that right for me to do that doesn't belong to me. There is another that is before me that has the right to do that. He has to refuse before I can do that. And he went about it in the right way, presented it just like that. And then he was able to buy the land from Naomi and then marry Ruth. So that's what we know of from this reading. So it's a good thing to be generous. It's a good thing to be kind and act uprightly without all things. Don't try to hide things or ruin things. And again, a great example of how we should act and how we should handle ourselves all the way around.